Veering later to a mainly dry night with some misty patches, overnight lows of 5 to 7 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball.
In association with Air. Don't miss live and exclusive Premier League action this month on the Air Sport Pack.
This is News Talk.
So welcome along, it's Tuesdays Off the Ball. We've got a busy one for you. We'll talk to Miguel Delaney, who's at the Etihad Stadium ahead of Manchester City looking for a miracle against Liverpool. We'll also talk to Kenny Cunningham at full time. Tim Vickery will talk to us about Gabriel Batistuta. Slightly random one for you, but we'll explain all later. Farmer Jones talks to us about the NBA playoffs, which get underway this week. And I'm sure you've sat in the Davin stand at some point in your life. Paul Rouse will talk to us about the GAA's first ever president and a truly remarkable man, Maurice Davin. That is all on the way. 53106 is the text number. We're on Twitter at Off The Ball. Richie is here. Hello.
Hey, Joe.
And the real treat of the evening, folks. The one I've held back. We've got Rouse, we've got Farmer Jones, we've got Tim Vickery, Kenny Cunningham, Miguel, Richie. Adrian Barry's here, everyone.
Good evening, Joseph.
There's meant to be applause there, but
it's fine.
I forgot to get a pipe through, did he?
I heard applause in my head, if that makes any difference. I hear that all the time.
No doubt. You're very welcome.
Thanks very much. It's a rare appearance, but happy to be here, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're thrilled to have you here.
I can see the excitement in your eyes.
So we're all looking forward to Manchester City, Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp is feeling cautiously optimistic about life. His pre-match press conference yesterday was relaxed, you could say. It was good fun.
Hi, Mr. Klopp. After the match, the last match against Manchester City, Firmino said that he is in the best moment of his career. I would ask you if you agree with him and if he is in the best shape since you start your coaching.
Yes. Would you like to follow up, Arthur? Would you like a longer answer, or is he happy with it?
If you want to give me a long answer.
No.
No was the answer there.
Yeah. Some set of teeth, isn't he?
Klopp.
They've really done a number on him there. They really have. And a good number.
Gnashers. Look at that. They're fake, right? They're like.
Oh, he's had them done. I think him and Firmino went to the same bloke.
Right.
And got them sorted. He definitely got them fixed.
This is
along with the hair.
This might sound like the hair, yeah. This might sound like the most obvious point ever, but he is a really good manager when Liverpool are winning. Like, you know what I mean? He's not a guy who hides behind a bushel when they're winning. Like, he's not a guy, because there are plenty of them who still come out and they're kind of cautious about, you know, look, everything is going very well, but he's like, he is Mr. Charisma.
He is Mr. Charisma.
When they're winning, he's a good guy to have around.
I mean, just as you say that though about the appearance, imagine Klopp without the teeth done and bald. It's an entirely different proposition. Like, he'd just be unrecognisable.
Have we photoshopped this and have it ready to go? Is that
do that, yeah.
You'd look like Wurzel Gummidge, I would think.
Interestingly, we'll have Miguel Delaney on from the Etihad at 7:30. I was listening to as I was getting some food there earlier on, the Independent Football podcast, just to Miguel's thoughts pre-game. Now, we'll talk about this. He was saying that within the management fraternity, there is quite a lot of snobbery when it comes to Klopp. His fellow managers don't actually see him as a great tactician, don't fully respect him as a tactician, think he's charisma and management. But I mean, he has Pep Guardiola's number tactically. He's beaten him in different ways, both with Dortmund and at Liverpool. But I might ask Miguel about that.
I'm loving this Mean Girls image of a giant canteen with all the football managers, all the Premier League managers, all the European managers sat together around one big table. Klopp comes in with his tray and they're like, no, you can't sit with us. You're not a good tactician. We don't respect you.
The other point is that, like, it is a popular thing among football people, football men, to disparage managers who, like, I don't want to be pointing at fingers at somebody who would sit in this seat occasionally, but because, like, ultimately being a manager, there are a load of different ingredients that go into that. Obviously a significant part of that is tactics, but I would think a significant part of it is the motivational aspect and the capacity to get your team on the one page.
Man management,
Joe.
Who were you talking about that sits in that seat?
Why haven't I know Kilban?
You know, well, he has previously disparaged people who've tried to get into football who would be, let's say, maybe not all that experienced on the tactical side, but have a lot of experience in the motivational.
Peter McGuinness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone think Klopp could do with a little less of the good guy act, says Chris?
It's not an act.
He spends a lot of his energy on entertaining journalists and fans alike. Maybe if he was a quieter type who focused on football alone, rather than building a personal brand, his team would be better as they go into the Etihad 3-0 up against Manchester.
I don't follow that.
It's just Chris thinks there's an element of fakery here. He's building his brand. You can't go to an ad break in a football match without Klopp driving some car somewhere.
Well, to be fair, I do find that a bit odd. Maybe that's what the managers are jealous of. It's like
the worst elements of those ads though are the Kaiser Chief rip-off songs that soundtrack them. You see, it's a close approximation, so they don't have to pay the royalties.
That's shocking.
God bless them to Ricky
because
Wilson.
I didn't notice it was a rip-off. I just thought it was the real deal.
Would they not just sue? Would Kaiser Chiefs not just sue and say?
They should do, yeah, because there have been cases whereby bands have sued.
How
for
do you say it? It is just off. It's just that bit off.
Yeah.
Disconcerting. We're going to leave the football men for just a moment, Richie. The football women are doing their thing tonight. So we talked with Colin Bell last night. They are underway at Tallaght. What's going on?
10 minutes played. It's mostly all Holland at the moment as they just put the ball out for a throw and they have possession in the Ireland half, but it is still scoreless, coming up on 10 minutes played at Tallaght Stadium, which is almost full for the game. Colin Bell handing a first cap to Amy Boyle-Carr, the 17-year-old from Donegal, replacing Ruisha Littlejohn in the midfield for that one. And with home games to come against Ireland, home and away games I should say, Norway will be looking to close the ground on the top two in the group. Their way to Northern Ireland would kick off at Shamrock Park and Portadown at 7:30.
The situation, if you're not tuned into this qualification campaign just yet, World Cup qualifier, both Ireland and the Netherlands are top of their group, same group obviously, on 10 points apiece. Netherlands, best team in the world, potentially European champions, a lot of full-time players. Ireland certainly far from that, but they got a really good draw in the Netherlands in November, so something similar today would be really good. We're going to talk to Dan McDonald at half-time and full-time, so we will keep you very much abreast of what's going on in Tallaght. Now, team news is in ahead of Liverpool-Manchester City. Yeah,
Liverpool potentially 90 minutes away from their first Champions League semi-final appearance in a decade. Jurgen Klopp's side taking a 3-0 first leg lead to the Etihad for their second leg of their quarter-final with Manchester City. City line out with three at the back. It's Ederson in goal. Kyle Walker, Nicolas Otamendi and Aymeric Laporte make up their back three. Fernandinho is screening the City midfield as Holland take the lead in Tallaght. Adrian, you saw this one.
Well worked goal, worked it on the right hand side. Actually, a lot of their play so far has gone down the left. This one came down the right hand side. Well worked, just not snuffed out. I mean, there's only 10 minutes gone.
Judging by your tone of voice, it's the Netherlands.
It is a goal for Holland, Joe.
Yeah. You were not that excited for an Irish goal otherwise.
No, dispossessed on the right, down the right hand side. Just a small bit of intricate play. Eventually the ball comes in. Lands sort of halfway between the just inside the penalty spot and is headed home from fairly close range. Keeper fixed to the spot. Like, I know there's only 11 minutes gone, but it was coming. Yeah.
Was it coming? Okay,
yeah, it really was. Yeah. I mean, there's some of the main sense of tonight, from what I've read and listened to over the last 24 hours, has been that if Ireland get a draw out of this, that is an unbelievable thing, that Holland are coming to town to do a number in this.
In hindsight, it's a miracle they got a draw.
It really is. Yeah.
Away from home in November. So
7-0 they beat the Norths.
Yeah,
I should remember, just this past Friday gone
in front of 30,000 as well.
In Eindhoven,
crowds. Yeah, huge crowds.
So back to the City team. Sorry.
So it's three at the back. Otamendi. Are we sure? Are we absolutely sure Fernandinho is not going to play at centre back?
I would be pretty certain that Fernandinho wouldn't play at centre back. At least he provided the option in a similar way. Kind of thinking that maybe Eric Dyer does at Spurs or with England, in that he will switch between the two depending on how play is going. But either way, in midfield then Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva as usual, Raheem Sterling and Bernardo Silva either side of them, with Gabriel Jesus joined by Leroy Sané up front. The likes of Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany, Ilkay Gundogan and Fabian Delph on the bench for City tonight. For Liverpool, the big news is that Mo Salah is fit enough to start. Loris Karius starts in goal for them. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Dejan Lovren, Virgil van Dijk and Andrew Robertson make up their back four, with James Milner, Jorginho Wijnaldum in for the suspended Jordan Henderson and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain across the midfield. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino are their front three. The Premier League champions-elect have conceded 3 times in each of their last 2 games, of course, but speaking with BT Sport, Pep Guardiola says it's not down to a newfound brittle nature.
If it's something I am completely sure that we have is character. We cannot do what we have done without character. In that league, with this weather condition, amount of games every 3 days, been there. If you haven't solved the problem just because we are Manchester City or because we are stronger than the opposite team, we are not going to win. I assure you something, there is no one there, we cannot do it, because we did it many times, we scored a lot of goals during the season, but the most important thing, the amount of chances we create. Last game we scored 2, and I don't know how many chances we could score.
Lineth Berenstein was the goal scorer for Holland, we should mention there. Jurgen Klopp, again speaking to Des Kelly from BT Sport, full of admiration for his opposite number and how he approaches the game.
It's still open, and that's quite rare when you won the first game 3-0, and we say that because we all respect the quality of City. And it's really difficult. It's a constant pressure what they can do. It's constant pressure. It's like always being in the right space, and pass again, and again speed, in behind the line, again speed, 1-2s behind the line. I don't think I have the solution for it. It's not that easy, bam, bam, and then it's not like this. And if we cannot be the champion of the Premier League, if you want, then I'm really happy that the team is champion, which shows the beauty of football.
I mean, as he said, this would be done if it was any other team but City, you feel. I checked. They've been in this situation at the knockout stage in the Champions League 126 other times, where it's been a 3-0 situation, and of the 126 times, 7 teams have managed to turn it around and get through. That's 5.6% of the time.
Good maths, Joe. Well done.
How many teams?
126 and 7 teams.
And I might be wrong here, but something like 6 of those teams have scored 1 goal within the first 22 minutes of the game.
You've just outstated me there.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
I think it's some high percentage anyway.
Oh, well done.
So you got to score. Thanks, Joe. That's
very good. Well done.
Disparaging and patronising.
It's a healthy mix. You're not happy Aguero's not in the side?
I just think it doesn't make any sense. When I saw the teams come through, I sort of wondered, maybe Aguero hasn't been in the greatest of form this year. But there's obviously a little bit of thing going on between him and Pep. But I mean, looking at it, he's by far and away their top scorer this season, 30 goals.
It's not a fitness issue.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. So what? You keep him on the bench until to a certain point, and then you go, okay, it's time to get him in. Like
Kev will tell you that if you are partially injured, you're better off actually starting rather than trying to come up to the pitch of a game by coming on as a sub. Like you said that before. Look off starting than coming off the bench.
And did you know that 5 of the 7 times the team have done it, they've scored in the first 22 minutes? So you actually need
5 of the 7.
You need
put it away, Joe.
Look at him now. He's disgusted. He's that's eating away at him. That will eat him. I don't know. Look,
Aguero's done a big interview on the Manchester City website today, talking about how Pep has improved him as a player and he's changed his game. I've learned so much from him. Pep's very demanding. I simply had to adapt my game and mindset and change how I play. He is 4 goals away from his best ever season tally.
Incredible.
Yeah. I still, by the way, think that's a 4-3-3 for City. I think it's Walker, Otamendi, Fernandinho and Laporte, who's going to be in big trouble if he plays like he did at Anfield at left back. And I just think it's their De Bruyne, Silva, Sterling and Bernardo Silva, Sane, either side of Jesus.
He's played that 3 before though, and he's played that 3 with Walker on the right. So he feels he can do it.
Yeah. The point about change across the game.
The point about Aguero, like if he's on the bench, he's fit enough to play some part in the game.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going to come on at some point. Obviously, Salah is probably in similar sort of territory, but he's relying on Jesus. 14 goals this season. He's only scored 2 in his last 18. Jesus.
You convince me.
Scores 1 goal every 97 minutes. Aguero. And the next best after that is
good press back reading.
Raheem. No, it's not. Raheem Sterling. Sterling, who, to be fair, is the next best scorer on 21 goals, scores 1 every 131. For me, that's what I'm saying is I'm building an argument here. I'm building an argument to say put him in the effing team.
Oh, right. I got the last bit, but other than that, I just heard numbers as you read an email. You read an email straight from the Champions League.
It's not an email. It's a screen grab. I went traditional and I took a photograph of my screen when I found the stat I was looking for.
We'll talk to Miguel Delaney in.
I can vouch for that. I could see the blue Windows bar at the bottom.
That's the easiest thing to do, Richie.
15 minutes time. Miguel is at the stadium. Klopp did his first ad with his old teeth, and now he's had his teeth done. They've changed the ad. Firmino, Coutinho, Klopp all have new smiles.
It's true.
I presume John Henry offered the dental treatment as an extra in their contract, says Adele in Killaloo.
We don't know that for sure.
Lovely part of the world.
It is a grand part of the world.
See, I suppose the other thing is they have money. They've got a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? I suppose the other thing.
Absolutely, why wouldn't you? Good dental health.
I think, Richie, what happens is like people as well when they make a lot of appearances on TV and stuff like that. That eventually they get around to that kind of stuff when the hair maybe starts to slip a little bit. I mean,
wow.
What
are you saying?
I just realised the subject I'm speaking to.
Probably the wrong person.
The teeth get done and stuff like that. So I mean, it's only a matter of time before
you go full Ross from Friends. Starts glowing in the dark.
This is outrageous.
Who says we're talking about you?
So where are we going next then?
We'll head to the Stadio Olimpico, which is actually sold out despite the fact that Roma trail Barcelona 4-1 ahead of tonight's second leg there. Roma start with a back 3 tonight. Alisson's in goal, Costas Manolas, Federico Fazio and Juan Jesus across the back 4. Alessandro Florenzi on the right, Daniele De Rossi in the anchor role in midfield, and Alexander Kolarov on the left. In front of them, Rajan Angolan, Kevin Strootman, while Edin Dzeko and Patrick Schick lead the line. For Barca, the regular formation of 4-4-2, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen in goal, Nelson Semedo, Gerard Piqué, Samuel Umtiti and Jordi Jordi Alba make up their back four. Across the midfield, it's Sergio Roberto, Ivan Rakitic, Sergio Busquets and Andres Iniesta, with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez even leading the line. Kick-off in both games at 7:45.
I should say, of course, we are here with Air, the home of Air Sport. Get amazing live sporting content free with Air Broadband. There is action across the pond in the Championship as well.
Yeah, there is, and the race for promotion heating up in the Championship tonight. Second place Cardiff City away to Aston Villa. Both sides suffered defeats at the weekend. Fulham are looking to extend their unbeaten run to 20 games with the visit of Reading to Craven Cottage. December 16th is when Fulham last tasted defeat. Among tonight's other games, former Limerick defender Barry Cotter is making his Ipswich debut, with struggling Barnsley visiting Portman Road, while Sunderland could tip closer towards relegation if they lose at home to Norwich. Dries Swampole has been invited to train with Munster in South Africa this week ahead of Friday's Pro 14 meeting with the Cheetahs. It's expected that the Bulls centre will be signed as short-term injury cover, with Chris Farrell and Jaco Tote out injured, Keith Earls as well. Swampole would also need to be added to their Champions Cup squad ahead of their semi-final with Racing in Bordeaux towards the end of this month. Simon Zebo and Darren Sweetenham on the injury front will both be assessed this week, having missed the win over Southern Kings last weekend, while James Cronin's shoulder injury is not as bad as first feared. On the contract front, hooker Mike Sherry and prop Jeremy Lockman have both been given contract extensions at Munster, while Gary on scrum half Neil Cronin will link up with the province from next season. 20 minutes played, by the way, at Tallaght Stadium. Ireland 0, the Netherlands 1, and the Netherlands ceding some ground to Ireland.
Ireland have been, since Holland scored, I would venture to say it's been all Ireland. They had a corner just there now and a big opportunity to level it, but really encouraging signs. But I mean, their capacity to keep that going for the next while, obviously until they can try and get an equaliser, will be the thing, but encouraging signs over the last 10 minutes. Yeah,
good. Tom wonders if Adrian Barry has any more stats in there. I feel like he does.
Not too much more than that. I mean, the big things were that Aguero has played 38 times this season, was the thing that like in terms of his relationship with Guardiola, that actually that does suggest that he is. I appreciate it took me a while to get there. I knew where I was going. It does suggest that he's not exactly like he isn't the guy who's so. Sterling 21, Sané 13 goals, De Bruyne 11 goals. My point is, even if he's not fully fit, he's got 30 goals. It's by far and away the best goal scoring record. Does alright in assists as well. Get him in there.
Fair enough. Great show, and it's great you covered the NBA playoffs, which we are doing this evening with Farmer Jones. But what about the NHL ice hockey playoffs, wonders one listener. Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason in Ireland, there's a genuine interest, certainly in NFL. If we're talking US sports, NFL, it's there. And I think there's a fairly healthy NBA following as well. But baseball and hockey haven't quite...
Just under the radar a bit. You ever been to a hockey game?
No.
Been to big sport in Sweden. I went to a game in Sweden before. The highlight for me was the halftime. They get two half. It's 3/3, isn't it? So you get two halftime breaks. Was the little water machine that comes out to fill up the gaps. It's
great, that's
very aesthetically pleasing to look at.
You won't live down two halftime breaks there.
Halftime breaks.
That was
for all his statting, he's
but a very aesthetically pleasing thing to look at.
Ice hockey?
No, the two halftime breaks and the water machine that comes out to fill up the little gaps that appear because of all the
Zamboni.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, a little machine.
Well done. Is it?
Yeah.
Sounds like a word you just made up.
I think he's made it up, but
Google it.
Said it with confidence.
Google it. Zamboni.
I was just speaking to someone actually because I may have the opportunity to go to an ice hockey game who'd been, and they didn't recommend it. They said you couldn't follow it. Like they couldn't keep their eyes on the puck. They found it incredibly boring.
See, the thing about it is, have you been to an NBA game?
Yeah.
No.
So, like, I've been to an NBA game.
I saw the American team at the London Olympics. So saw all the lads, LeBron and.
But you were probably in media seats, sort of up close.
Yeah, really.
We went to Madison Square Garden. We're sitting up. Holland have a penalty, by the way. We're sitting up fairly far from the action. Like, you couldn't really see very much. Yeah. But to be fair, the night had nothing to do, and they've scored it.
2-0 Holland.
Yeah, nothing to do with the. The night had nothing to do with. It was a brilliant night.
It's a brilliant show.
Nothing to do with the basketball.
Yeah.
It was just great crack, and I can't imagine how the ice hockey, even if you're not that interested, or you actually can't see that much.
But you got the Zamboni, so you're
it's an expensive ticket, isn't it? The NBA?
Oh, very much. Yeah.
What are we talking? $200-$300.
Depends on where you're sitting, because you're obviously everything's.
You were in the VIP seats, were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
No, I think you're talking starting from $200.
No,
it's not. You got freebies, did you?
No, I didn't. We rocked up that day and bought a ticket for Knicks. Knicks were shocking. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony was playing. Right. Defence was the big shout of the night, which will tell you how the game was going.
I feel like I'm there.
But they weren't. No, I don't remember what they were, but I think they were about like $50.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, then I might actually reconsider.
Yeah, we were in the back seat of the entire thing.
Okay.
But,
it's like 50 down to like 100, and then you're down to the.
Richie was down courtside.
I was, yeah. Mixing it with stars of NCIS.
Right.
I wasn't really.
So Holland 2-0 up now in Ireland.
Yeah, and a penalty as well. Pretty harshly awarded one for foul towards the edge of the box, but the Dutch leading 2-0 and very much in control of this tie.
The word is Miguel's Skype connection from the Etihad is useless, so Lord knows what we're going to do at 7:30, but we'll carry on for that.
I mean, if you want me to hang around, Joe, I mean, I can.
Adrian
Barry will
read statistics.
Niall's been saying on Twitter, by the way, Aguero not 100% fit. It's been confirmed, hence why he's on the bench. We did have.
Didn't I say that?
We did have that as part of the conversation.
Yeah, but
you roundly ignored, and you're just like, get him in the team.
What I'm saying
he
is,
was almost saying maybe if he's got 25 minutes in him,
go for it.
Because 20 of the 7 teams who've turned around this situation, 5 have scored. 5 have scored within 22 minutes.
22 minutes.
So your argument is, let's use up Aguero's 20 minutes that he has early on.
God, I tell you what, Richie, Joe's become a big football man now in the last few weeks, isn't he? I found he's
watched the rugby off.
He's a proper football man again.
He's making a play for some highlights packages, imagine, on the World Cup.
Can we serious up for a second, because your next story is actually very serious.
It is indeed. Jail football coach Barry Bennell is appealing against his sentence. The former Crewe and Manchester City coach branded even sheer evil, and the devil incarnate as Judge Clement Golson QC passed sentence totaling 454 years for his offences. He was found guilty of 50 offences relating to 12 junior players aged between 8 and 14 between the years of 1979 and 1990. He was told he'd serve the maximum sentence of 30 years, with the 64-year-old potentially eligible for early release in 15 years' time. Regardless, he has begun proceedings to reduce his sentence, which he sees as excessive. Bray Wanderers here at home have appointed Graham Kelly as their caretaker manager. The Seagulls saw Dave Mackey hand in his resignation as boss at the weekend following their 5-0 defeat to St. Pat's. Kelly was previously the club's under-19 manager, and he'll be assisted by Conor Kenna, who's still a current player and a coach at Bray. The club are without a win from their opening 9 games in the SSE Airtricity Premier Division season, and they welcomed Dundalk to the Carlisle grounds on Friday. Rather interestingly, it was said that Martin Russell, the former UCD boss, had taken training at Bray today. He was one of the favourites to succeed Mackey there, so eventually it becomes of this situation. Lord knows it is Bray after all. Conor Clifford has signed with Limerick. The former Dundalk and Chelsea midfielder has just completed a 6-month ban for betting offences while staying on the recruitment front. Sligo Rovers have confirmed that midfielder Craig Rodden has left the club by mutual consent. The former Liverpool midfielder had been there for the past 2 seasons. Dundalk have been drawn at home to face Bohemians in the pick of the EA Sports Cup quarter-final ties. The Lily Whites last night came through an epic to beat St. Pat's at Richmond Park, with Marco Tagbajumi netting the winning penalty. 8-7 is how it finished on spot kicks. After 90 minutes saw the sides share 4 goals, and 120 minutes it ended 4-4. While the winners of the Waterford Cork tie will travel to Sligo in the last 8. Derry City will play host to the winners of Shelbourne and Drogheda second round tie, while Shamrock Rovers or Longford will be away to Cove Ramblers. All of those ties to be played on the 7th and 8th of May, on Monday and Tuesday evenings. Those
rugby action on the way this week?
Yeah, there is. And Connacht have a number of injury concerns ahead of Friday's Pro 14 trip to Glasgow Warriors. Sean O'Brien is following the return to play protocols after the back row suffered a head injury in last week's defeat to Ospreys. The same game saw Tiernan O'Halloran suffer a foot injury, and the full-back will be monitored as the week progresses. Ulster, meanwhile, they've been dealt a pretty sizable blow in their pursuit of a Pro 14 playoff. Prop Vihan Herbst has been ruled out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Ulster 8 points behind Edinburgh with a game in hand in Conference B ahead of Friday's visit of the Ospreys to Kingspan Stadium.
I've got big news.
Is this stat, Joe?
Kenny Cunningham will join us in the next few minutes.
Worthwhile asking Kenny Cunningham. I did get a text from Kenny on Sunday evening.
So just
around about
randomly.
Gonna say 9-10 o'clock direction. Quite excited about the shape of the leaderboard. I won't say any more than that.
Augusta?
Yeah, I would ask him. I would definitely ask him how things went for him.
Well, he got the call there from JP, and JP says the quote was, "Bring me in, son. Bring me in."
Put me in, coach.
Ready to go.
He just wants to tee off on Nicholas Otamendi again. Pretty much most of the post-match chat last Wednesday centred around how awful Kenny thinks Otamendi played last week. So he's going to love the fact that he's anchoring a 3-man defence tonight.
Yeah, and in Company dropped. I mean, I guess there's always the danger Company's injuries are his primary issue there, but he's out.
Or he's not that good.
Well, it was very strange, the Pogba goal, particularly the one where he ran in for the header. He's literally the only player in the pitch making a run. You know what I mean? It was fairly... And Sanchez looked about 6 times, and it was just Pogba moving slowly. It was as if Company and Otamendi couldn't move. They just had to watch him.
Without one telltales out of school, Nathan Murphy has always been one of those people who's been in the anti-Company camp.
But hang on now a second. His line that he trots out is nonsense. It's like, you know, the Nathan Murphy theory.
He's obsessed with the optics of being a captain.
That when they score, whenever they concede a goal, he wants to be caught on camera looking devastated.
I know he plays the PR game in a way that Patrick Reed doesn't. Come on. He's right about the Zamboni.
There.
It was always in the Charlie Brown cartoons.
Right, yeah.
Why are you saying the Charlie Brown cartoons as if it's the first time you've ever heard of them?
I've never heard of them.
I
haven't.
What kind of sheltered existence did you have as a child?
They would have predated your time, Job, but at the same time, not to have even ever heard of Charlie Brown.
You're unfamiliar with the work of Charles Schulz.
Brown was like the cartoon in the newspaper, wasn't it, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know his name was Charlie Brown.
You didn't know the kid's name was Charlie Brown?
I knew who Snoopy was.
Jesus Christ.
And they put you on telly.
Joe and team.
I don't find that funny.
That's cheered me right up.
The most patronising text of the night. Probably penned by yourself, I'd imagine.
No. Joe and team, you're great company. Thank you, says Eilish in Drumcondra. It's a hell of a text, Eilish. Thank you.
And team.
I presume it's the and team she's getting at there, really. She just doesn't know myself and Richie's name. It's fine.
That's grand.
Don't worry about it.
They're fine with that.
Thanks, Peter, or whatever your name is.
This night's really come together. With that text, Kenny Cunningham on the way.
Brilliant.
I'm loving life.
I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Where are you going next?
Derry City's plans to rename their ground in memory of their late captain Ryan McBride. They've moved a step closer. The local council have launched a public consultation process to consider renaming the newly refurbished Brandywell Stadium. The 27-year-old McBride passed away suddenly, of course, in March of last year. While Ciara McGeehan says she's proud of her final performance in the women's 1500 metres at the Commonwealth Games, the Portaferry athlete ran her fastest ever major championship time, but she finished in 13th position. Gold went to Caster Semenya, who won the race in a new Commonwealth record time of 4 minutes 0.71 seconds, being the previous best of Zola Budd. While Northern Ireland are guaranteed at least 3 more bronze medals, siblings Michaela and Aidan Walsh as well as Kurt Walker all progressed to the semi-finals in the boxing.
Okay, that's our news round done for this evening. So after 8 o'clock, Paul Rouse will tell us about Maurice Davin, the first ever president of the GAA. He was a remarkable man. I had no idea. I didn't know the half of it. Right. Maurice Davin, yeah, really phenomenal guy. So Paul Rouse will tell us about him after 8. If you're watching the match, we won't hold that against you, but I would recommend you download it at some stage. It'll be in the Off the Ball highlights section. And then on the football show, we'll have Tim Vickery talking to us about Gabriel Batistuta, and we will preview the NBA playoffs with Farmer Jones. But up next, Kenny Cunningham will talk to us, and we will ask him if Manchester City can pull off a miracle.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
In association with Air. Watch every UEFA Champions League and Europa League game on the Air Sport Pack.
Moncrief.
So the meteorites from Mars or the creation of the moon or from the asteroid belt or whatever were pummeling all these sort of little geothermal springs, brought those chemicals together in the right environment. Or
good sound effects.
Yeah.
Moncrief.
With Gas Networks Ireland.
Weekdays from 2 p.m. on News Talk.
Hertz means car rental, right? But Hertz also means car sales. The Hertz sale means a massive range of cars, unmissable bargains, finance options with zero cash deposit and €2,000